As I'm making this video at 5:53 p.m. on September 18th, 2020, we just got confirmation about an hour ago that Ruth Bader Ginsberg has passed away at the age of 87 due to complications with pancreatic cancer. Now, she's been dealing with a lot of issues with cancer. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen many YouTube clips or have seen a lot of notifications in the past where Ruth, from like the mainstream media as well, that Ruth Bader Ginsburg had to go into the hospital for treatment over cancer. It's been like this for such a long time. In fact, last time I recall, she had treatment of cancer, chemotherapy, I believe, back in May. So she, again, this has been a recurring theme for her, and I'm sorry for her family for passing away, for her loss. As much as I disagree with her, considering that she was a pretty liberal justice, you have to respect a woman in terms of the fact that, well, she did have pancreatic cancer, was fighting for her life against it. And of course, she did have her own principles. Again, I don't agree with her, but nonetheless, I think it's best if we should respect her, especially since she has just recently passed away, and we should wish her family all the best. That being said, what's this going to mean politically for the United States? Well, in all honesty, this could mean a lot of things, because it's 2020 is definitely an important election year, probably one of the most important that we have ever seen in quite a lot of time. But it's definitely gone past 2016 in terms of importance of election. Because originally in 2016, you had the same old with Hillary Clinton, and then you have someone new with Donald Trump. And there were a lot of people, me included at one point, where I was like, I don't like either of these people, but I'm going to be voting for Trump because he won the Republican nomination. And I said, whoever wins the Republican nomination, he's got my vote. So I stood up for that principle. I did not make a video about that, but that was just my overall mentality. It was before I even created this channel. But nonetheless, during 2016, one of the major topics that was talked about was the death of Antonin Scalia, who was a pretty conservative justice. And the death of Antonin Scalia made the entire issue of winning the election all the more important. Because if the Democrats win, they would put a liberal justice. If the Republicans win, they would put in a conservative justice, or, well, hopefully an originalist justice, or a constitutionalist. And of course, Donald Trump won and managed to get Neil Gorsuch in. Of course, and he managed to also get another Supreme Court justice down the way in the form of Brett Kavanaugh. Now, in each case, there was a lot of energy from the right wing in terms of trying to get to the polls and be able to vote. Try to be able to spread that, to appoint that justice in the Supreme Court, because if Donald Trump won, like I said before, conservative justice is appointed. Now, of course, you can easily argue with some of the disagreements between Brett Kavanaugh and Neil Gorsuch, but that's not what I'm focusing on. The point is that with the loss of a vacancy, or with a vacancy on the Supreme Court, it's bound to get either side to try to be able to fill in that replacement, because the Supreme Court interprets the laws as well as the Constitution, or at least it should be. With the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, this could mean this could be a different change to the political field, especially with election time coming up right now. Keep in mind, this is already less than 2 months away from the general election. I do not know how the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg is going to translate into the polls, to be honest with you. I honestly don't know. If I were to make a guess, because I would say that it may not do as much because of the fractured state of the left at large, specifically within the Democratic Party. You have the establishment and the far left, and I talked about this in previous videos. There is another possibility. This could invigorate the left in order to vote. It's much in the same way of how same way that a lot of supporters on the right managed to get out to vote on election day back in 2016. And there is another third possible way, and that's could the invigoration of the left could possibly be generated in the form of riots and protests. We've already been seeing that going on a lot throughout the past few months since the death of George Floyd. And honestly, I wouldn't put it past that. There's been a whole due to just a lot of the policies that the Democrats who've been ruling major cities have been implementing and what they've been doing as of late. I honestly would say that the third option is definitely a possibility. Not sure how big of a possibility, but still. Then again, it depends on how the left decides to use their newfound energy in order to invigorate the left wing. It's up in the air at this point. It could have no impact at all with the fractured state of the Democratic Party. It could generate support for Joe Biden in the polls on election day, or that could be in the form of protests or riots. I have no idea. It's up in the air. But what I do believe, and there's a whole lot of evidence that proves this because of the past two justices that Trump has nominated and managed to succeed, is that if Donald Trump does manage to win the election, he will definitely be able to place his own people on the court. In fact, he's already mentioned a list, and I will be able to on the WhiteHouse.gov, and I will be able to put it down in the link in the description below. That way, that you guys can be able to look at that. And he's also made some additions to the list as well. But one of his supposed frontrunners is a woman named Amy Coney Barrett, and she considers herself an originalist, and basically, and I'm reading this from Wikipedia on my phone right here. She is a constitutional scholar with expertise in statutory interpretation. Basically, what is said, done. And in honesty, I think that there's also some stuff in here where she talks about Roe versus Wade, how it would be difficult to, in all honesty, to actually overturn it, and that the main issue is whether the government should be funding abortions or not, or whether it should be privately or publicly funded. That's what I mean. But nonetheless, considering her background as a devout Catholic, I'm pretty sure that the mainstream media and a lot of people are definitely going to try to attack her. This isn't the case if she becomes the true frontrunner and the true nominee. I definitely think that there will definitely be smearing from the mainstream media, from the Democrats, all because that they control the narrative. This was the same case with Neil Gorsuch. This was the same case with Brett Kavanaugh. In fact, I believe that, in my honest opinion, Brett Kavanaugh was pretty worse off than Neil Gorsuch because of the whole issues with the Me Too movement, how Miss Ford accused him of rape over 30 years ago, and so on and so forth. He was basically dragged in the mud due to that fiasco. all because, and it was definitely at the height of the Me Too movement. So I would not put it past the mainstream media or the Democrats to do something like this. I think that no matter who Donald Trump chooses, they will go guns blazing against them, pulling out every card out of their sleeve. However, say Amy Coney Barrett does become the nominee. In my opinion, I think that actually would give the mainstream media less ammunition, because their major complaint, like I said before, would be that she's a pretty conservative Catholic. But I think that's about it. I don't think many people will have a problem with her being religious. Plus, considering her past comments with Roe v. Wade, it's like, yeah, in terms of personally, I'm against the decision of Roe v. Wade. I think that was a stupid decision, but it would definitely be. I agree with her that it would be hard to overturn it. So considering that, I don't think that many people will have an issue with that. There was also a few other things that that Amy Coney Barrett actually said that she wants to get rid of I believe statutory immunity was called over the issue for cops and that sort of thing in order to try to as normal people within the courts, due to, of course, their which is why, because of their overall responsibility as police officers, which is why that policy is maintained. I don't know how I feel about that, but nonetheless, that could be something that would give her points, at least to attract some support from like libertarians, moderates, maybe even a few liberals. I have no idea, but nonetheless, but still. I don't think, if Amy Coney Barrett is chosen, I honestly think that there won't be much that the mainstream media or the Democrats could use to smear her. There will be some, don't get me wrong, but there won't be much. I think that she may be, as far as I know, the best choice for Donald Trump to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg. But nonetheless, we have to wait until we see the final nomination for her seat. Again, I'm sorry for Ruth Bader Ginsburg's family and what they're going through, and I just hope that they feel at least some comfort. My name is Noah Meehan on The Arc Truth. Please post your comments down below, like this video, subscribe, and share with your friends. Also, if you have any issues regarding my videos, such as how I speak, how I frame my videos, or even with my my microphone sometimes going out, my bad. Please post your comments down in the comment section down below, or directly message me. Thank you.
Almost.